7 News is on your side tonight. A case now before the Supreme Court could quietly transform how chemical companies are held accountable in America. The battle centers on whether companies can hide behind regulators even after years of questions about their corporate conduct.
Now, as senior investigator Lisa Fletcher reports, a lawsuit over liability could make it harder to hold big companies to account when their products cause lasting harm.
People versus poison!
Outside the U.S. Supreme Court, a rally over Roundup.
We're not going away!
But the fight here reaches far beyond a single pesticide. It's about whether an EPA-approved label becomes a shield against legal liability.
There's an opportunism by Bayer and Monsanto, and frankly the entire agricultural chemical industry, to find a way to escape liability.
Brent Wisner led the first massive courtroom victory against Roundup's maker, Bayer Monsanto, in 2018. Since then, hundreds of thousands of lawsuits and more than $10 billion paid out, much to farmers who blame their cancer on the weed killer.
We completely believed it was safe.
Terry McCall's husband was one of them. He died in 2015 of non-Hodgkin lymphoma.
There was all these studies about the connection between Roundup and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And I thought, my God, he's been using this for 40 years.
The science has been a battlefront for decades. The World Health Organization labeled Roundup's key ingredient, glyphosate, a probable carcinogen, but the EPA disagreed with their assessment and approved a label without a warning.
They literally want to enshrine in law that pesticide makers are essentially immune from lawsuits provided the EPA signs off on their labeling. It's kind of a preposterous idea.
Bayer Monsanto told the Supreme Court that if the EPA's approval of their labels is ignored, the company would face crippling liability because of massive budget-breaking lawsuits.
The argument sounds logical. If regulators say it's safe, why should a company be sued? But critics say that logic crumbles if regulators are captured by industry or if they're being fed tainted science from the very companies they oversee. Bayer Monsanto's own internal records raise serious questions about that.
Those records, known as the Monsanto Papers, emerged during years of Roundup litigation, exposing ghostwriting, where Monsanto employees wrote scientific articles and paid supposedly independent researchers to sign them, and internal emails revealing coordination between the EPA and the company to influence safety reviews. Now, similar questions are being asked of EPA leadership's recent interactions with the company. EPA visitor logs confirm that Administrator Lee Zeldin met with Bayer's CEO in 2025, and according to internal emails, legal judicial issues would be brought up. The memo reveals Bayer was expected to update Zeldin on where they stand in litigation and labeling options, and provide a small thanks for updating the glyphosate webpage and work on MAHA.
We have internal emails from your agency saying that Bayer wanted to thank you and your agency for removing support for California's warning because their case before the Supreme Court right now hinges on you not warning the American people and withdrawing your support on glyphosate. Do you understand the conflict of interest that is before the American people right now, Mr. Secretary?
I understand.
The gentlelady's time has expired.
You mind if I respond?
Thank you.
Zeldin said glyphosate is being reviewed, and after beginning his response, was told by the committee chairman to answer further in writing. We asked for that written response and didn't get it. We asked the EPA questions about the agency's position on glyphosate and Administrator Zeldin's interaction with Bayer Monsanto. In a surprising turn, they referred us to the Department of Justice, from which we've gotten no response.
This is not just about my husband.
Back on the steps of the Supreme Court, Terry McCall worries the outcome of this case could slam the courthouse door shut, potentially protecting the makers of more than 50,000 pesticide products from ever facing a jury.
Why would anybody be for taking Americans' right away to get justice for being harmed by companies' products when they've told them that they're safe? Who would be for that?
Lisa Fletcher, 7 News.
And Lisa has extensively reported on Roundup and other everyday items that contain chemicals linked to dire health issues. You can find all of her coverage on WJLA.com. Just click on the iTeam tab.